How's it going, guys? CrackedRack here, and today we're going to be discussing my thoughts on the infamous Andrew Tate. I lied about that last video being the last one with this lazy gameplay footage format because my equipment still has not all arrived, and I didn't expect Andrew Tate to get arrested for horrible crimes against humanity, so I didn't expect to make this video. And my microphone may be a little wonky because I haven't gotten used to it yet, so just expect that. Anyways, today, like I said, I'm going to be talking about Andrew Tate and why I don't like him, even as a right-wingish type guy. I would say I'm not full right-wing or anything. As you may know, I do most of the time identify as a centrist, like on my banner, but I do hold some very right-wing beliefs. And I feel like it'd be interesting for me to share my perspective from a right-wing perspective of why I think Andrew Tate is bad. I think there's a lot of videos out there that explain why they don't like Andrew Tate from a left-wing perspective, and they give the usual talking points of things like, oh, he's mean to women. Oh, he's mean to less fortunate people. Oh, he gives horrible advice to people that is super naive and warped, and he charges a lot of money for it. And while those are somewhat valid points, those points are not why I dislike Andrew Tate at all. The first reason I don't like Andrew Tate is just because he's a douchebag. He's a douchebag. The biggest douchebag on the planet, probably. He is consistently bragging about having sex with very attractive models, having a ton of money, which, let's be honest, he probably made from human trafficking. And he also brags a lot about how successful and smart and wise he is, even though he's none of those things at all, and he's the least humble human being I've probably ever seen in my life. He literally is the definition of boy brain. He is a little boy in a man's body. I'll give him this, his body is, he worked hard on it, good for him, but that's about the only good thing about him. And he's the least humble human being I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I know this story has been told 1,000,000,001 times, but just look at this tweet Andrew Tate made towards Greta, I want to say Thornberry? My Bugatti has an 8.0 quad turbo. Whatever that means, but hey, I mean, a beta cuck like me surely wouldn't know what that is. My two Ferrari 812, whatever the hell that says, have 6.5 V12s. V12, is that like some kind of tomato juice extract? This is just the start. What do you mean this is just the start? What more do you need? This just tells me you have a huge empty hole in your heart that is completely devoid of any passion or happiness or love, and you fill it with meaningless crap like cars and money and sex, but none of it fills your heart because you are dead inside. Then he talks about how he wants her email address to send her proof of how much crap he's pumping into the air with his disgustingly expensive, poorly maintained vehicles. Aside from just how douchey and unrespectable this tweet is, it's super, super creepy. Greta Thumbwoman, or whatever her name is like 19 years old. That's like a child. I mean, it's an adult child, and I wouldn't say you're a bad person for banging an 18, 19-year-old when you're, 30, but like, the way Andrew Tate's going about it is super, super creepy. This is an adult child. You should probably start acting like an adult, Greta, but come on, it's like a year into college at most. It's basically a child. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a child if you're like 22 or under, but Andrew Tate, you are 36 years old. You are a fully grown adult man. I mean, you're so old at this point. You were 18 years old when Spider-Man 2 came out, which is when Greta was born. This is weird. This is unusual, weird behavior. And I would normally state that maybe he's doing this for clout and not attraction, because people do crazy stuff like that for clout. I've done it, you've probably done it, it's just a thing. I like to play devil's advocate, but considering Andrew Tate is being arrested by pretty competent authorities in another country for the R word, not gonna say it because YouTube will strike me down like a god with thunder, it becomes extremely sinister. He's not just wanted for that, he's also wanted for human trafficking, which is extremely serious and extremely creepy. I get that cancel culture is annoying when it tries to cancel people like Jordan Peterson or Ben Shapiro for just expressing their beliefs, but we're talking about human trafficking, not free speech. Those are not charges you can just get on accident, like, whoops, caught a human trafficking charge. No, that's not how that works. This isn't a drug possession charge or something. Especially in a third world country like Romania, or maybe it's a second world country, I'm not very familiar, but that's not the point. And honestly, I don't think the people who still support him, even knowing his trafficking charges, are aware of how evil and dangerous trafficking of any kind is, whether it's human or drug or animal trafficking. Trafficking is one of the worst things a human being can even do. The damage is catastrophic. It needs to be punished to the fullest extent of the law. When you are being trafficked as a human, whether male or female, you're chained to a wall sometimes, you're withheld food and water, you're assaulted in many ways every day, Sometimes they'll do incredibly evil things like make you call your family members just to taunt them that you aren't coming home. Human trafficking, in my opinion, is a crime worthy of the death sentence. Anyway, Andrew Tate is a creep. Say what you will about even the likes of Alex Jones or Kanye West, you don't see them trying to dodge charges for human trafficking and physically harming other people. Not just all of this, but I've always thought Tate was a douche. He sells courses on how to be an alpha male. You don't need courses on these things if you want to be an alpha male so bad, which yes, is absolutely a real thing. Just Google it. You can get thousands of articles that are very detailed and legitimate on this very subject for free that are very effective. You don't need a bald, nearly 40-year-old rapist to make you pay money to him, good money, to teach you how to become good with women. I can probably guess what are even inside his courses without even checking once. I bet you it basically states have a good body, work out really hard, stare women in the eyes to trigger some weird effeminate instinct to make them attracted to you, which is abusive. There's probably a lot of weird psychological tricks that sexual predators use on vulnerable women just casually tossed in there too. It's really stupid. Maybe there's some tips on treating damaged women badly to make them attracted to you because you trauma bond yourself to them, which yes, is also a real thing. If you treat mentally unstable, insecure people, women or men, badly, they might like you. This isn't rocket science, and just because it's a real thing doesn't make it good, like Andrew Tate tries to pass off. Lastly, just look at pictures of Andrew Tate. He looks like the biggest asshole on the planet, and he's not even trying to do it for humor, he's just genuinely this way. He's also posing in a weird suit or expensive piece of clothing in every photo, or he's with a sexy woman who's probably being held captive by him and probably isn't even old enough to drink. Or he's smoking a giant expensive cigar, which is super cringe. That's like what Ethan Ralph does to look cool. So overall, I hate Andrew Tate. I would not be sad at all if he went to jail for many years for his crimes, if they're 100% proven. I think he's a complete loser. I think he's a really sad, insecure, overcompensating, near 40-year-old man who can't handle his emotions, and is likely overcompensating for some kind of, sexuality difference to normal people. I'm not going to say it, but you can probably get what I mean. I don't even think he believes what he says most of the time. I think he's just completely grifting with no honesty or transparency, and I think he's a complete embarrassment to any right-winger on the planet. He's a creepy loser, and I don't think anyone should support him. Though if you wish to continue supporting him, this is America, and you can do whatever you want. Land of the free. See ya.